Okay, you've received your dry blood kit in the mail. I'm so excited for you. Inside your kit, you will see your lancets. You will have your Kim wipes, which we use to clean the slides with. You'll have your alcohol swabs. And then you'll also have received some slides. Now, we'll only be using 2 slides today. You may receive more than 2. I like to send out some extra of everything just in case something breaks or we need to reduce something, but all we need are samples on the 2 slides. So what I'm going to do, and I made this video for you people so that you can see exactly, how I need your samples to be. Sometimes I get samples that are too big, sometimes they're too small, but I need ones that are just the right size. So let me have you start with your left pinky. And the reason why we do the pinky on the left finger is because it's closest to the heart. And if you see, we're only working with the top third of your finger from the nail side down. So the top third of your finger is the only thing that we have to be concerned with. And what we want to do is we want to take the alcohol swab and you want to clean it very well. Make sure you get that fingerprint clean very well. Then what we do is we take the Kim wipe. And these are very expensive little Kleenexes that we use to clean slides with in laboratories. And we take these and we clean the slides with them. And make sure that there's no lint or any kind of dust or any kind of fingerprint on the actual slide. And so we can get a real accurate reading. So you want to clean your slide and set it aside. Clean the slide number 2. And then set it aside. Okay, now the alcohol should be dried on the pinky finger. Sometimes when you do a poke, the alcohol can burn. So we really like that to be dry before we do that. The top of your lancet pops off, and this is all you should be left with. Now what we want to do is when we're dealing with the top third of the pinky finger, we want to go down right in the center about 1/3 of the way of the top third of the pinky. So you want to go about 1/3 of the way down right in the center, and that's where we're going to do the poke at. Okay, and make sure that your palm is facing the ceiling. Poke. And that's very quick, and that's it. And then we're completely done. Now, you might want to observe how quickly the blood comes out of the finger. You may be somebody that the blood does not come out very fast, or you may be someone who the blood is very thin, so the blood may kind of overflow. And what we need to do, if we're not getting any blood, we need to form a perfect ball of blood on this finger. So what we need to do is we need to squeeze down by that first line. Do not squeeze on the sides. Do not squeeze right under where you poked. We need to squeeze down by that first line on your pinky. Okay, until we form a perfect ball of blood. Okay, there is a perfect ball right now. Now what we do is we take the slide and we need 5 drops down the center of the slide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's the sample. So as we can see on the sample, that the first drop is kind of big, and then it gets smaller, 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 smaller. And that's what we want. And we want both slides to be the same way. Now, what I like is I like to have a second sample so I can get a real accurate reading, because most of you folks live way away from me. That's why we're doing the dry blood kit. So we want to make sure that the sample is very accurate. Now, instead of repoking the finger, what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze down by that first line, and we're going to try to get a second perfect ball of blood. Okay, if in this type of scenario there's no blood that comes out, what we do is we re-clean the pinky, and then we do a repoke right next to the first. Make sure that alcohol is dry because it can have a stinging effect. Okay, fantastic. Yep, this one came out right on its own, right there. That's what we want. And I'm going to get that second perfect ball of blood to do the reading with. There we go. And then I want to do tap, 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 tap. And there's my sample. So that's all there is to do. Let the blood dry for at least 24 hours before you send it. You know, sometimes people's blood takes a half an hour to dry. Sometimes it can take up to, 3 hours, 4 hours on the slide. But try to make sure it's good and dry. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take your Kim wipes. Once the sample is dry, take your Kim wipes, wrap your samples up individually, and then bubble wrap them. Place them in a box. I prefer probably the box that I sent you the kit in. Place them in the box and send them back to me. And your blood sample will be ready for a reading within 24 to 72 hours after it's received. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm excited to read your blood and then, of course, to help you on your way to better health. Thanks so much.